I need to once again check for the audio, make sure audio is actually being picked up. Okay, yes. Right? Okay, yes. Right? Yes, audio is being picked up. Good. Also because I dropped my headphones earlier, so I didn't know if that would cause any problems. But yes, indeed, audio is being picked up. Okay, before we start, let me show you real quick. So, I have here Panpour eggs. I clearly don't have 800. Instead, I have 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 boxes have been pre-walked. These ones have not. Yeah, these ones have not. I also want to show off real quick from last time. So, no extra shiny Pan-Seer from last time. I almost called it a Panpour. The Semi-Seer I was using to breed, yeah, that came back level 100. That wasn't the case for the Pansage I was using to breed, since I didn't have to collect another 800 eggs. Okay, and while I prepare the other thing to show you, let me put the eggs into the party. So, real quick, if you take a look over here. By the way, my dogs are about to bark. So, that's where all the Pan-Seers are. So, there you go. All the Pan-Seers are sent to home. You can do the math yourself. Those are the spots where I got the 2 shinies. Now, if you're noticing, hey, there's a couple of boxes missing. There are technically 7 boxes of Pan-Seers missing. Don't worry about that. So yes, the total number of Pan-Seers you just saw over there, there were indeed 7 boxes missing. Don't worry about it. Just in case anyone cares about the continuity, which nobody does. But just in case someone in the future asks about it, which nobody will, yeah, don't worry about it. So hunting for Panpour, I'm actually excited for this one, because Panpour actually has a good looking shiny. Wow, that looks terrible on camera. That looks awful on camera. The way Panpour looks for you guys looks not at all what I'm seeing on the actual 3DS screen. So, yeah, wow. Panpour looks terrible for you guys. It's not at all the vibrant blue that we all know. For you guys, it, wow, that looks, bleached. Also, let me take a look at something real quick. I was gonna look this up a little bit sooner, but I guess I forgot. Okay, let me see. So, at the end of last time, we talked about how many shiny Pokemon I have altogether, like in total, out of all the games. Let's see, I just opened up my document. Control all and number. Let's hope it doesn't crash the page, because there is a lot. Oh, nope, didn't crash. Let's see. I updated it earlier today based on the shinies that I got the past couple of days. So, as of this very moment, I have in total 3,391 shiny Pokemon. Now, this list does include things like events or the handful of shinies I was traded. So if I were to control F event, because I did mark down which one were events, I have 56 marked as events. And, whoops, didn't mean to pull up the source code. Trade 54. 56 plus 54, that's 110. Am I hearing a beep? You guys hear that? That little beep when I select an egg? Huh, am I just now noticing that? There's a faint little beep sound. So, yeah, 56 events, 54 trades. So, 3391 minus 110. So, take away all those. I caught, so far, a total of 3,281 shiny Pokemon as of this moment. Caught, bred, you know, same thing. I obtained, like, on my own. So I obtained on my own, no traded to me or events shinies. I obtained on my own 3,281 shiny Pokemon. Give or take, you know, over the years, maybe there's a shiny somewhere that I forgot to add into the list. So, you know, give or take that many. And also this number, 3,281, this list does include a lot of filler. A lot of filler like, you know, primarily Pokemon Go community days. Or the handful of free shinies were given. Like the Red Gyarados at the Lake of Rage in Pokemon Crystal. Or the Ponyta in PLA. So it does have a lot of filler. Also, you know, stuff that I just phased a lot on. Like Dynamax Adventures, or in the process of getting 3-segment Dunsparce, or Family of 3 Mousehold, or most recently, all the phases to get the level 100 shiny Magikarp. Which, you know, speaking of which, I did get that last night, and because I got that last night, I kind of forgot to mention some other stuff last night too. So damn, I should have wrote down the number. Whoops. You'll know what I mean in a second. So yesterday, I was on the brink, the cusp, of maxing out my Gimme Ghoul coins in Pokemon Go. I was using the Golden Lure. I had 9,995 Gimme Ghoul coins in my bag. And you know, if I were to spin the Golden Lure one more time, it would max out. And I would end up losing coins. So, what I ended up doing was I evolved one of my 98 IV Gimme Ghouls in Pokemon Go. Now, I have several 98 IVs, 98 IV Gimme Ghouls in Pokemon Go. I have several, but I only have one in a Pokeball, a regular Pokeball. So that's the one I evolved. I do also have several 98 IVs in a Great Ball and an Ultra Ball. So I'll probably evolve those once I, you know, get close to maxing out the coins again. So I wanted to, you know, real quick add up the total number of Gimme Ghoul coins I've gotten in Pokemon Go, but I didn't write down the updated number for today. So we'll just have to go off of what I currently, what I last have. So I said I previously had 9,995, and then I used 999 of those. So because I never maxed out on Gimme Ghoul coins, I never capped out on it. So I never got coins I could no longer keep. So 9,995, and I did evolve 2 Gimme Ghouls. I evolved my Hundo. So 9,995 plus 999 plus another 999. In Pokemon Go, I have gotten at least 11,993 Gimme Ghoul coins. Plus more, because, you know, I just keep on doing the coin bag every day to get more coins. So at this point, I've gotten over 12,000 Gimme Ghoul coins in Pokemon Go. So I wanted to mention that. And you know what else? Speaking of Pokemon Go, I don't know if anyone else is experiencing the same thing I have. Has Pokemon Go been lagging a lot for anyone else? Pokemon Go for me has been lagging so much, it has been borderline unplayable. But, you know, I still push through and I still play the game because I'm a goddamn G. I still push through with all the lag, and I still play the game instead of quitting it because it's borderline unplayable with all the lag. It's especially bad when it comes to, like, you know, doing certain timed things like the daily incense or the coin bag. It lags so bad, it completely bugs out the game to where I can't even throw a Pokeball. Like, the Pokeball just disappears. I just can't throw a ball, so I need to close the game and reopen it. That wastes my time. Waste my daily incense time, or my Gimme Ghoul time. Oh, I was afraid. I was afraid how loud it would be. Never mind, I turned off the volume. Oh! It's, the sound for me is still on. I gotta turn that off now. Hurry, hold on, hurry up. Turn that off. Yeah, I still can't get over how bad the Panpour looks for you guys. Like, it looks terrible. Panpour just looks bad for you guys on your end. Yeah, Panpour looks a lot brighter than it should be for you guys. You know, last night I was so tired, I basically just crashed not long after. Today being Thursday, I'm starting to not like Thursdays. Because Thursdays are my sister's day off from work. And when she's not working, that means I gotta do stuff. So I went and got some Wendy's burgers for dinner tonight. When I went, I was surprised to actually see the Krabby Patty collab. Canada actually has it. I don't know. I wasn't sure if Canada was gonna get it because Canada just kind of sucks that way when it comes to getting stuff. Because Canada just doesn't get a lot of stuff. We don't get a lot of collabs. You know, like, a lot of places just don't ship to Canada for whatever reason. For some reason, a lot of companies are just stingy. They don't ship to Canada. And, you know, a lot of things that the US gets, well, the US gets it first. And then several months later, like, if ever, Canada will get it later on. So I was a little surprised to going to Wendy's earlier tonight and actually seeing they have the Krabby Patty collab. I didn't get it because, you know, we got coupons for 2 Dave Singles meals in the mail. We got coupons for those. But next time I go to Wendy's, I'll try it. And I know I need to go soon before the collab's over. I don't know, maybe I'll go... I don't know. Well, Tuesday's my day off. Hopefully I can go then. And it still has it, of course. Now, I am pretty much expecting the Krabby Patty to taste, like, identical to a Dave's single. Which, has anyone ever questioned that? Like, if the restaurant is called Wendy's, who the hell is Dave? But anyways, like, yeah, I'm pretty much expecting the Krabby Patty to taste identical to a Dave's single. Maybe, well, I heard maybe the sauce is different, like the Krabby Patty secret sauce. You know, the special sauce. It's like, aside from maybe, you know, the secret sauce, yeah, I'm pretty much expecting it to taste like a Dave single. Like, is that the secret? Is that how Krabby Patties have tasted this whole time? It just tastes like burgers from Wendy's? Like, we can all, like, you know, die happy, knowing we've tasted a Krabby Patty. Whenever we watch SpongeBob again, we know what a Krabby Patty tastes like. And it tastes like a burger from Wendy's. We can all die happy now. Okay, so there's something I want to talk about today. I actually don't have any episodes of shows to talk about today. You know, I think it was last night because it ended stream early. I was actually considering, like, should I use this time and watch another episode of From? And then I snapped back to reality, like, wait a second. Me? Watching another episode of From? Like, wait a second, that didn't sound right. Me thinking I have time? Why don't I get another episode of From in? And then I came back to reality. I'm like, wait a second, that I don't do that. That's not right for me. No. Instead, what I did last night was I got a little, and I mean a little, progress into Persona 4 Golden New Game Plus. I basically just got to the end of the Yosuke boss fight, and then I just turned the game off because I was so tired. I sat here doing a little bit of computer stuff, mostly just posting the VOD from yesterday. And then I just went to bed. Like, I was just so tired last night. So I don't have any episodes to talk about today, but I do have 2 movies to talk about soon. 2 movies that came out recently from this moment. Both of them are on streaming now. So, you know, I never watched these movies in the theater because one, I just never had time to, and then the other, it just sounds like it sucked, so I didn't want to go and pay for it. So the 2 movies are Transformers 1 and Joker Folie à Deux. So in the next couple days, I will watch both of them, and then I will talk about both here. So if you're interested in my thoughts for the 2 films, stay tuned. I'm probably going to watch Joker first, just because I heard how bad it is. And then, you know, I'll use Transformers 1 as a palate cleanser. You know, watch something bad, it's like, oh my god, that was so terrible. I need something good to, you know, cleanse my mind. So I'll probably watch Joker 2 first, and then I'll watch Transformers 1. So in the next couple days, I'll find time to watch both of those. Maybe not on the same day. I will find time to watch both of those in the next couple days at some point. And then I will talk about the movies here. So just stay tuned for that. I probably won't do anything tomorrow night here, because I think my friends want to go out for dinner and then come chill at my place. You know, I'm kind of caught in a dilemma right now, cause the thing that's keeping me busy during the day is this: grinding, like preparing for this, collecting the eggs, and then pre-walking them. That's what's keeping me busy throughout the day. And let me tell you, since last time, I really had to rush to get this ready for today. I really had to just speed run, get the rest of the Pansear eggs hatched, and then not only collect, but also pre-walk at least 7 boxes of Panpour eggs. I really had to rush to do that. So today I spent like 5 hours non-stop pre-walking all these eggs, which one of them hasn't even hatched yet. So I really had to rush to do this. See, the thing is, like, me doing it this way now is just so that I can get these out consistently, but the thing is, this is to keep me busy. I might have something coming up soon. Can this focus? Hello? Hello, can this focus? It's not focusing. Whatever. Blurry screen for you guys. Sorry. Maybe the stylus is making it not focus. Maybe it was. Anyways. So doing this has been keeping me busy throughout the day. There might be something coming up soon, or something I will get my hands on soon, that will also replace, you know, keeping me busy throughout the day. So once that happens, I gotta decide, eggs or the other thing. So what I might decide to do is go back to the old method. The old method being collect all 810 eggs at once, pre-walk all the eggs, all of them, That way, I'm done. I'm done preparing until, I hatch all the eggs and I need to collect more. And then once I'm done that, well, I can do the other thing that'll keep me busy during the day. So I might have to change it up a bit. That means I won't do egg hatching here as often, because I'll need days to collect all the eggs and then pre-walk them all. We'll see. We'll have to see what I decide. Okay, so let me talk about something earlier today. Something that, man, am I pissed off about. So, you guys know I'm watching about... What? I'm watching From. And I'm doing so because this jackass friend of mine recommended the show to me. And this is the same friend who I recommended a couple shows to, and he quit the shows. Complained they were boring, just wasn't interested. He quit the shows after watching a couple of seasons. So, yes, you guys know I'm watching From. So, let me start at the beginning with the story. So, I watched The Walking Dead. Oh! That's a huge revelation, I know. So yeah, I watched The Walking Dead. So that means I watch a lot of Walking Dead content. I watch breakdowns, theories, reviews. There are several channels on Walking Dead I watch. Movie Idol, TW Explained, Theo Hunt, Captain Gold, Jerry's Takes, Ty Swell. Like, there's a lot of Walking Dead channels that I watch. One of them, like I just mentioned, is the channel TWD Explained. So he also does content on From. He does From breakdowns, excuse me. He does From breakdowns and reviews. And because I'm not caught up, well, when I look up Walking Dead videos from his channel, I also see the From videos. I see the thumbnails and titles. So because I'm not caught up, I'm getting spoiled of like Season 3 stuff. So earlier today, I was looking up the review for the Daryl Dixon Season 2 finale on his channel. I saw the thumbnail for From. It was Fatima turning? Is Fatima turning? I sent the screenshot to that asshole friend of mine. I'm like, turning? What does it mean, turning? Obviously, I don't know, because I'm halfway into Season 1, and that's Season 3 stuff. So I sent him, like, turning? He's just like, bro, just watch the show. You're about to get spoiled more from YouTube. And then I'm just like, bruh, you see all this Walking Dead content I'm watching. Why don't you just watch the show? And then, a thought started to hit me. So I texted him like, man, yo ass already spoiled all the good stuff from the Arrowverse, skipping all the quote-unquote boring stuff. So why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I skip all the boring stuff in From and just get to the good stuff? Like you did for the Arrowverse shows. And because the entire show is quote-unquote boring stuff, the entire show is just characters talking, why shouldn't I just skip the whole fucking show? And, well, he really tried to tiptoe around the question. He refused to answer me. He refused to give me a straight answer. So, think about that for a second, folks. I recommended the Arrowverse shows to him. Now, I know, some people are going to mention or make the argument like, bro, the Arrowverse, it sucks. It got bad. The Arrowverse really did... I will admit, the Arrowverse did fall apart near the end. But you have to admit, early on in the Arrowverse, there were cool moments, right? Like the small little crossover moments, the references to the other shows. Those were cool moments. And, you know, aside from crossovers and small little connections between shows, some of the earlier seasons just genuinely had some, you know, decent story. I'm sure Madvocate would disagree. But, like, you know, Season 5 of Arrow was really good with Prometheus. Seasons 1 and 2 of The Flash were the best. Season 3 was pretty good. And then it kind of went downhill from there. Season 4 I liked. And then, you know, Season 5 and onward, it wasn't that good. But, like, I'm talking early on Arrowverse. He gave up early on in the Arrowverse. And, you know, he didn't even get to the other good stuff about the Arrowverse. Hey, I know this is a hot take. I liked Season 1 of Legends, even if it was kind of cheesy. I really liked Season 2 of Legends. Season 3 was aight. Wasn't that bad. It wasn't, you know, just wasn't bad. Season 3 with Totems and, you know, Malice. That wasn't bad. It was Season 4 and onwards of Legends that the show really went downhill. So I'm talking early Arrowverse. Early Arrowverse where the stuff was cool. It was good. Quote unquote good, you know. A lot better than the later timeline, right? The later parts of the overall Arrowverse. So he didn't even have the patience to, you know, sit through the good parts of the Arrowverse. Instead, he skipped all the quote unquote boring stuff just to get to the cool parts, you know. The crossovers, the fight scenes, all the cool stuff. So he skipped over all the boring stuff. Not to mention he just gave up and quit the damn shows. So I'm thinking like, yo, if you skipped over all the quote-unquote boring stuff and only got to the good stuff with my shows, why the hell wouldn't I do the same with your show? Why do I have to treat your show so greatly when you didn't do the same with the shows I recommended? You recommended me a show and you expect me to sit through all the boring-ass dialogue and binge-watch all of it at once. When I recommended you shows, you skip over all the boring stuff and you only get to the action scenes, the cool crossovers. It's like, why the fuck won't I just do the same with your show, huh? And he refused to answer me. He refused to give me a straight answer. He also tried to make the arguments. You know, like, he tried to make the excuse me. He tried to make the arguments that he did watch shows that I watched as well. You know, he watched Invincible and Hazbin Hotel. I'm just like, bruh, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? I never asked you to watch those shows, nor did I recommend those to you. You heard me talk about them, and then you chose to watch them on your own. Never once did I ask you to watch Invincible or recommend you watch Hazbin Hotel. You heard me talk about it, and you decided to watch it on your own. So the show that I recommended to you, I actually did recommend you to watch, you skip over the boring stuff, you only skip to the cool stuff. Well, you recommended From to me, why the fuck won't I do the same, huh? Why do I have to treat your show with such a great pedestal? Why don't I just skip the boring stuff, which is damn near the whole show at this point, and only get to the good stuff, huh? Like, why can you do it to my shows, but I can't do it to yours? Yeah, he refused to answer me. He tried to give me half-assed answers. Like saying, bro, I did watch shows. Like, I did watch your shows entirely without skipping. I watched Invincible. I'm like, I never asked you to watch that. You watched that out of your own choice from me talking about it. You know, he also tried to make the argument, like, bro, your shows are so predictable. When it comes to From, it's not predictable at all. You know, it's less predictable. You don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just like, first of all, From has absolutely no predictability, because there's literally just no story. There is no plot. At least so far from what I've seen in Season 1, there is literally no plot. So, in order to be predictable, you need to be given things to base your predictions off of. The show literally gave nothing so far. The show has nothing. No answers whatsoever. I can't even make a theory if I wanted to, because the show just gave me nothing to work with. And then he had the nerve to be like, less predictable. You know, he even said, because I recommended also to him The Walking Dead, he said, post-apocalyptic world where humans get infected by a virus where they turn into zombies and a group try to survive. Eventually some of them turn and die while others strive to live. So he called Walking Dead predictable because of that. I'm just like, bruh, that's not called predictable. That's the literal plot of the show. The show is centered around that concept. Like, that's not called predictable, that's the literal plot. And you know, it's not hard to say, yes, you can predict that's the story, because that's literally the story. It's a zombie survival show. Yes, you can predict people will try to survive, people will die, like, that is the surface level predictions, right? So, he also asked me, like, fine, what other shows do you want me to watch? Like, what else do you watch that isn't Marvel, DC, or Walking Dead? I'm just like, bro, you know damn well that's exactly all I watch. He said he likes the mystery aspect of the show, of From. You know, trying to theorize anything. Try to predict what's going to happen, because he said Season 3, he has no idea what's happening. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't really bode well with me, because Season 1 isn't giving any answers. It sounds to me like up to Season 3, there are no answers, so it's just gonna be all questions, no answers for 3 goddamn seasons. Whoops. So that's not a good sign for me. I don't know, do I sound harsh or what? Because to me, it just kind of doesn't seem fair, you know? I recommended shows to him, he calls it boring and stops watching. He recommends a show to me, expecting me to binge watch the whole season so I can talk to him about it. When the show that he, the shows that he quit are, sure, maybe it's cheesy writing, but, at least it has action and an actual overarching season-long storyline. He complained, those shows are boring. He complained Arrow, Flash, Walking Dead are boring, when his ass is watching a show like From. He skipped a lot of the quote-unquote boring stuff in the shows that I recommended. And he only skipped up to the good parts, the cool parts. So I'm just thinking like, well, why can't I do the same? Why can't I skip over all the boring stuff in From, which is at this point the whole show? And why don't I just skip to the cool stuff? Not watching any of the build-up like you did. You skipped over all the build-up to the cool moments. Why can't I do the same? Just doesn't seem kind of fair to me, you know? So, yeah, he said, what else do you want me to watch? And I replied, with your impatient ass, nothing I watch isn't connected to something else and isn't helped with context from another show or movie. Because I also replied to him, you sure as hell are not watching all 7 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with a few movies between episodes. Like, he's just not going to do that. You guys remember in Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where we got the tease that Age of Ultron's happening next? And then in the next episode we learn where Nick Fury got the helicarrier. The next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. turns out they have a surviving helicarrier from when Hydra attacked. That was cool. It connected. And before anyone says Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon, shut the hell up. It is. Until it is proven otherwise. So, you know, there are other shows that I would recommend to him, but same thing. Context from something else would help greatly. Like, I want to recommend Loki to him, but then it's best if you watch the first Thor movie and then watch the first Avengers in order to get the context of what this Loki just went through. And then you would watch Avengers Endgame to see when Loki actually caused the branching in his timeline. And because you're watching Endgame, well, you're not going to watch Endgame without watching Infinity War. I'm not going to go crazy and recommend everything to him, like rewatch the whole MCU just to watch Loki. I would say the first Thor movie, I would say the first Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. And then watch Loki to get the best experience. Because yes, you could technically just watch the Loki show without any of that. But, you know, I would say it's a better experience, right? I could also recommend, like, Daredevil to him. I'm not going to recommend, like, if I were to recommend anyone watch Daredevil, I'm not going to also recommend you watch all the other Netflix Marvel shows as well. So I would just say watch Daredevil Season 1, 2, Defenders, Daredevil Season 3, and if you're really interested, then you can go back and watch the other stuff. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. But yeah, he's not going to. So, he also mentioned something earlier, too. Let me pull up the messages. You know what's also funny? When he brought up Invincible, I'm just like, did I ever ask you to watch it? Did I ever recommend it to you? You chose to watch it yourself after hearing me talk about it. He replied, you talked about it. So then I replied, So talking about it equals I asked you to watch it. He replied, yeah, so I'm just like, man, where's the block option on Discord? I really don't get his taste in shows. Now, you know, that everyone has their own taste in things that they like. He said, man, some shows ain't for me. If From and The Boys ain't your type of show, don't watch it. He said, I just assumed you would be interested in them because they're similar to other shows you've watched. So, because as of this moment, I still haven't seen The Boys yet, though I think I can make an educated guess in saying From is nothing like The Boys. And I texted him that too, and I also texted him, unless you mean the adult themes, swearing, and gore. He texted, how would you know? You haven't started it. I replied, am I wrong? He said, yes or no, am I wrong? He said, kinda wrong to be honest. I'm just like, you better not say family dynamic as well. So, I don't know what similarities there are between From and The Boys. I swear to God, if I watch The Boys and I don't see any similarities, like, I swear to God, I will be shocked if I see major similarities between The Boys and From. Now, you know what are two shows you could say, like, are not only similar, but are damn near the same plot? The Last of Us and Daryl Dixon. Do I need to say any more? Like, that should be obvious. Can I be honest? I also haven't seen The Last of Us, but I at least know the plot. At least I think. Anyways. So, yeah, I don't know what similarities there are between From and The Boys. Because if literally it's the reasons I listed out that he thinks they're similar. The adult themes, the swearing, and the gore. If that's literally it for him to say the two shows are similar, I swear to God. I was even thinking as well. I'm thinking, so if you like the adult themes and the gore of From, so you like that. You like the adult themes and the gore of From. Why don't you like the adult themes and gore of The Walking Dead? He said he likes the mystery aspect of From. The theorizing. And then he texted me, like, From should be 5 seasons? So he's saying that means I gotta wait 2 more seasons before I get shit revealed. So in 2 years, we'll find out everything. So we'll find out answers by the end of Season 5, and they're not even done airing Season 3 yet right now. So I just replied, like, you like the mystery so damn bad? Wait for it. Yo impatient ass likes the mystery so bad. Well now, there you go. You wanted the mystery so badly, here you go. Now you can wait for it for 2 more years. Like, I'm really kind of having a hard time narrowing down just what kind of genre he likes. He likes a boring-ass, slow, snail-pace-ass show like From. And then he likes something like The Boys. But yet he's not into Marvel or DC, and he quit The Walking Dead, complaining it's boring, literally the second scene of the episode. I don't know, I just kind of feel like it's not fair that, one, he quit the shows that I recommended, and now he's expecting me to... Well, he expected me to binge watch From to the point I should be all caught up by now. And, you know, I also find it kind of unfair that, you know, he skipped over all the quote-unquote boring parts of the shows I recommended just to get to the good stuff, and I'm just like, well, if you did that, what's stopping me from doing the same thing? What's stopping me from giving your show the same treatment? Skipping over all the boring stuff just to get to the good stuff. Like, what's stopping me from doing that? It's like, if you did it, why can't I? I don't know, this dude just pisses me off sometimes. You know, I know, like, if I'm not enjoying From, I should just quit the show, but it's like, well, I'm disappointed by the show, sure, but I'm enjoying it to a level where I'm like, I'm still intrigued, right? I'm interested in the show to the point where I'm actually willing to see it through to actually finally get some goddamn answers. But, you know, there's literally no plot with the show. There is more questions than answers. And if I need to wait 5 goddamn seasons for even a single answer, that is frustrating. At that point, that's just not really that good of a writing style. Like, you want to spread out, pause, the answers. You want to, you know, slowly drip feed it so that people actually learn something about the plot and gets intrigued. Because you know what happens when you drip feed answers? People start to theorize. Now, the problem with not doing that, is there's no material to theorize on. There's not even a hint of the origins of the monsters or where they are. So I have nothing to theorize on. I have no basis to use to theorize what these things are or where these characters are stuck at. Absolutely nothing to work on. So there's no theorizing I can do. Which version of the song do I want to do? Sure. And I know some people might make the argument, like, bro, you recommended him these long-ass shows, these interconnected universes that are just, like, impossible to catch up on content at this point. You know? It's like 8 seasons of Arrow, 9 seasons of Flash, and that's not even counting the abundance of other shows. You recommended him 11 seasons of Walking Dead when all he did was recommend you like not even 3 completed seasons of a show. But still, it's like, yeah, I see the argument there. But isn't that the point of a show? It's not a movie where you sit down for one sitting and it's done. Isn't a show, a television series, meant to be long? Like, wouldn't you want it to be long so that you can spend more time with the characters? And obviously you don't want it too long, otherwise the plot just drags out, and then, you know, actors leave the show, so the characters are gone. Like, you don't want a show too long, but you also ideally don't want a show too short, right? Look at the problem with the streaming shows these days. They're too short with, can you believe, too high of a budget. Like, there's nothing wrong with a big budget. It looks better. But if it's too high, that's also a problem. Like, you know, there's the problem. There's that problem with TV shows. If it's too long of a season, like 20 plus episodes a season, you're going to get stretched out storylines and filler content. You know, just episodes where nothing happens. If you get too short of seasons, well, then the pacing's not great. The pacing's just too fast. And then even if a shorter season does have great pacing, it's like, damn, it's over already? Man, I wanted more. Like, you don't think I would love to have like 12 episodes of a season for Loki? Like, I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. achieved that pretty well. 7 seasons, that's a pretty respectable runtime, you know? Pretty respectable lifespan for a show. It didn't overstay its welcome, and it, you know, didn't end too soon. 7 seasons felt okay. We pretty much got the same cast for, like, damn near the whole show. You know, from seasons 1 all the way to 7, we had Daisy, Coulson, Gemma, you know, Fitz, May. We had those 5, and then Mac was introduced in season 2. Yo-Yo was introduced, I believe, in season 3. So, like, we got a pretty consistent cast. No main character, like the actor left the show, aside from, you know, Hunter and Bobby, but that was because they were supposed to get a spin-off, which never happened, so they were just written off the show for no reason. Yes, you can argue Fitz left for season 7, but that's because the actor had something to do, so he wasn't able to record for season 7 for, like, damn near at all. Which is a great shame. But it is what it is, sadly. Ugh, whatever. You know, I'm gonna catch up on From. This guy's gonna be so happy that I watched his show from beginning to end. I even texted him too. I texted him like, yo, you know that joy that you're going to get when I eventually catch up and then I actually say like, oh my god, this show's really good. Or, you know, if I actually say that. I texted him like, you know that joy you're going to feel when I catch up with the show and I actually start enjoying it? Yeah, I'm not going to get that luxury because you quit all the shows I recommended. So you're just not going to give that back to me. You're going to feel all sorts of joy and happiness when I catch up to your show. You're not going to give the same thing back to me because, you know, you quit the shows I recommended. And you know, I don't blame him if he were to quit the Arrowverse later on. You know, when the Arrowverse actually started to fall apart and, you know, dip in quality. You know, Flash season 5 and onwards were not really too great. Legends of Tomorrow season 4 and onwards. And then we just have the entire existence of Batwoman. And yes, my voice did crack there. Black Lightning wasn't bad, it just wasn't great also. It was okay. It was like straight in the middle average. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't also, you know, phenomenal. So if he got to the point of, if he got past all the good stuff in the Arrowverse, like when the Arrowverse was at its peak, so we're talking like Arrow up to season 5, Flash up to, I'll say season 3. I enjoyed season 4. Not a lot of people did. Season 4 is kind of like 50-50. It's season 5 and onwards where people are really saying the show is not that great. But I'll say up to season 3 of The Flash. Because that's around the same time as Arrow Season 5. So, you know, Arrow Season 5, Flash Season 3, I believe Supergirl would be at Season 2 at this point. And, yeah, this would also be Legends Season 2. So, you know, the literal best time for the Arrowverse. That was the best time for the Arrowverse. You know, not only did Supergirl Season 2 introduce Superman, but they also introduced Mon-El, possibly teasing the Legion of Superheroes. Which I don't think really happened in the show. Like, not really. But, you know, at the time, they were teasing it. And, you know, he said he likes the mystery aspect of From. Well, wasn't the mystery of who Reverse Flash was in Season 1 of Flash, like, was that not pretty great? Like, you know, people, they slowly learn, oh my god, Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash. And then once it's, like, truly revealed, I think it was the next episode, we see the flashback. And then we see Reverse Flash unmask himself. He has a totally different face. So you're thinking, wait, what? What's going on? That's not Harrison Wells. Or what about Arrow Season 5 with the mystery of Prometheus? So around this time would also be just the incredible Season 2 of Legends, you know, going up against the Legion of Doom. So yeah, well, it's all ruined. He's not going to watch it. He probably skipped all the boring stuff and watched all the good stuff. So it's like, well, Why do I have to cater to him, watch all the boring stuff in his show, and, you know, not do the same thing? Skip all the boring stuff and just get to the good stuff. Okay, what other song can I listen to? You know what? It's been a while since we heard this one. And you know, who could forget the absolute peak of cinema when we got in Legends, Gorilla Grodd going, Barack Obama. Who can forget the absolute peak of television at that moment? Just Grodd attacking Barack Obama. You know, it really is a shame that the Arrowverse basically fell apart near the end. The Flash later seasons just weren't that great. We got Batwoman. Black Lightning kind of fell apart for seasons 3 and 4, primarily 4. Supergirl's final season was terrible. The only show that stayed pretty consistent the entire run was Arrow. Do I even need to mention Legends? It literally changed from a drama to a comedy. Like, the category literally changed from drama to comedy. And you know, I heard the concept, like, this idea that Legends could have done. Oh man, if only they did this. Imagine if later seasons for Legends of Tomorrow, instead of time traveling, they travel to different Earths in the multiverse. Oh, the wasted potential. Was that all the eggs? Yeah. And speaking of which, like the three major brands, franchises whose shows I watch, yeah, they're basically all I watch. So for a good majority, like 95%, not even 95, like 99, 98, 99% of every show I watch is either one of the big three: Marvel, DC, or Walking Dead. I have a list pulled out literally right in front of me. I can list off all the shows I've watched in these three. Well, not all, but like, in their connected universes, right? I'm going to list them off right now. So for Marvel, I have watched all of the following TV shows: Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger, The Defenders, Inhumans, Runaways, The Punisher, Hellstrom. And, that's it for the pre-MCU, like, Disney Plus shows. And, of course, I watched all the Disney Plus shows. WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Echo, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Agatha All Along. If you want to count it, I Am Groot. So, all those TV shows for the Marvel side I have watched. Did I say She-Hulk? Yes, I sadly watched that. In terms of DC, I've watched all of Smallville. I watched all of the 90s canceled Flash TV show. And in terms of like main Arrowverse, I watched all of Arrow, Flash, Constantine, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, all the, Arrowverse adjacent shows I also watched, like Lucifer, Titans, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, Stargirl, Peacemaker. So yes, I have seen all of those shows, like all of it, every single episode. And there are two animated Arrowverse projects that I did also watch: Vixen and Freedom Fighters: The Ray. In terms of Walking Dead, well, there's a lot less Walking Dead content, but 11 seasons of Walking Dead and 8 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. So obviously I watched those two, Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. I also watched Walking Dead World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead, and then obviously the 3 spin-offs: Daryl Dixon, Dead City, and The Ones Who Live. So, there's a lot of TV shows that I have watched. Man, I'm sad Hellstrom got canceled. That was actually not that bad of a show. Oh yeah, other Marvel shows like Secret Invasion. I watched that trash as well. So after these 5 eggs, it will have been 4 boxes hatched. Emulation when, though? When did you even send that? I don't know how long ago you sent that. IDK, man. Like, if I knew how to do emulation, I would, but we all know I'm too stupid to do that. Like, I don't even know how to start with emulation. Is there a program I download? And then it's like, well, how do I actually, get the games that I want to play on the emulation, right? And then how do I actually play it? Do I hook up a controller? Like, can I even do that? Or do I have to use, WASD? Like, how does it all work? I don't know. It's just a lot that I just don't understand. And there's always the risk of Nintendo's snipers on my head. The Nintendo ninjas coming for me when I sleep. Man, it makes me really sad that this coming Sunday is going to be the final episode of The Penguin. Damn! It's already ending. Because this show has been a 10 out of 10 so far. It has been incredible. And I'm so sad to see it go. Will it get a season 2? Probably not. And if it does, probably not for a while. I don't imagine a possible season 2 until after the Batman season 2, which is coming out in 2026. So that's still 2 years from now. Damn, DC went hard glazing this film before it came out, and then, 5 years to get a sequel out. You want to know something that I saw Doomblazer mention a little while ago? Like somewhat recently? Where is the sequel to Big Hero 6? 'Cause that came out a decade ago. Hold on. You know what still blows my mind? The fact that Big Hero 6 is Marvel. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like Marvel to me. But it is. Big Hero 6 is Marvel. I don't know, it just never felt like a Marvel project to me. So it would kind of blow my mind to see, like, you know, a live action Big Hero 6 next to the Avengers, because that is such a bizarre combination to me. I just don't see Big Hero 6 as Marvel. You know, for the longest time, I didn't even know Ghost Rider was Marvel, like growing up. But, you know, as I grew up, it's like, yeah, I can see Ghost Rider being Marvel, but now it's like, Big Hero 6? That is so strange to me, being Marvel. Like, I have a really hard time picturing those characters standing alongside the Avengers. Or, you know, in New York with Spider-Man. It's like, it's really hard for me to really picture that, right? I have an easier time picturing the Justice League standing next to the Avengers than I do Big Hero 6. You guys think Colin Farrell will win an Oscar or an Emmy for The Penguin? Because he really should. My God, should he? Should he ever? What other song can I play? You know what? This came to mind. I'm gonna play it. You know, I really have a hard time remembering that when I watch The Penguin, I'm actually watching, you know, the DC villain character, the Batman character. Like, I often forget, like, oh yeah, I'm watching that character, Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin from the comics. Like, it's so easy for me to forget, because, you know, he doesn't really look like the Penguin, not the way I picture it. You know, the big pointy nose, the top hat. It's like, you know, I can't really see this character as, you know, the villainous Penguin fighting the Batman, right? So I really have a hard time remembering I'm watching that Penguin. And, you know, I find it pretty hilarious, you know, the title of the show just being The Penguin. Like, if anyone doesn't know who the character is, like, whatsoever, they're gonna think, ooh, it's a penguin show. It's a documentary on penguins. And then they see a mobster family show. You know, earlier, like a couple minutes ago, my sister texted me, like, do you want to watch the wedding videos? And I replied later. There's a chance that my family's outside watching her wedding videos. You know, this one's recommended, so now I want to hear this. I'm actually gonna stand up real quick and double check. Are they actually watching the wedding videos? No, they are not. At least not yet. Well, I've ran out of things to talk about tonight. Let's just hatch the rest of the eggs and get out of here for tonight. Have I seen any of the betas from the leak a while back? Yep. Kiram looked nothing like it does today. Any betas in particular you want me to talk about? Did you see the Gen 5 one? That was pretty funny. Which one? There were a lot of Gen 5 leaks. There was just a lot of leaks in general for each generation. I should have seen all the leaks. As much as I could find. The one that was just Heart Gold Soul Silver, but was just a 3D version of it with rotating camera and jumping. Which one was that again? Did you see the leak where Game Freak used a Minecraft build of Hoenn in order to scale their 3D map for Oras? Someone out there created an entire build of the Hoenn region in Minecraft, and Game Freak used it to scale their 3D Hoenn region for Oras. That's pretty funny. They're just like, sweet, the work's done for us. We just need to, copy the homework and make sure it's just slightly different. Let me see, what else can I play? Okay, I've played the DLC at this point, so I can actually listen to the old OST. What is this? You know, because I didn't finish playing the DLC at the time, I tried looking at the OST, trying to find that one song that sounded like With the Stars and Us, but because I didn't finish the DLC yet, I didn't want to potentially spoil myself, so, you know, I couldn't really take a look at the music properly. Okay, so Don't is this song. What about this one? Yeah, I don't know. Persona music just be like that sometimes. Is it crazy if I say it's been a while since I finished Tears of the Kingdom? I kind of want to go back and revisit Breath of the Wild just to see, like, oh my god, do I still have it? Do I remember how the controls are for this game? Or am I too used to Tears of the Kingdom now? Favorite OST from the DLC? I don't know. All the OST for the DLC kind of blended together, so I don't really remember a standout one. Besides the one that sounded like With the Stars and Us. But I can't find what that song's called. Man, I still love the fact they redid Dragon Roost for Rito Village. Oh, I'm tired. You know, my mom started to simmer some fresh beef stew tonight. Now, hopefully I don't spill it like I did last time. So probably just don't give me a container of it. Just put it on a plate or a bowl for me to eat. Don't let me handle a big container of it. You know what I do sometimes? Like, kind of what I did last night. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. I purposely don't check what time it is. You know, so I have no idea. Was I asleep for 2 hours or 6 hours? Right? Something about not knowing just adds to, you know, the mystery of like, okay, I don't want to know how long I've been asleep for or how much more time I have to sleep. I'd rather just go to bed and just let it be. Because say I wake up in the middle of the night to pee and it's 5 a.m. Well, now I know I have about 5 hours left to sleep. And I've been asleep for like, I don't know, 4 hours. Checks time, 33 years? And especially this time of year where the sun doesn't come up as early. So it could be like 7 in the morning and it's still completely dark outside. Man, I remember high school and completely regretting choosing to do music first year because that meant early morning rehearsals. When it was like winter time, I would have to wake up at like 5 in the morning and get to school for 6 a.m. rehearsals. Rehearsals for 2 hours until, you know, class started at 8 in the morning. So I remember like getting to school at just before 6 a.m. and it's pitch black outside. What a bad decision that was. Clearly, I absolutely should not have chosen music for high school. Biking in the dawn was low-key awesome. Can you guys believe I still don't know how to ride a bike? Not unless it has training wheels. Man, it's been like more than a decade, maybe 15 years since I rode on an actual bicycle. Oh my god, I'm old. It's actually been like 15 years since I actually genuinely last rode on a bicycle. Oh, and I can't believe high school started 9 years ago. I did that music stuff, waking up early for rehearsals 9 years ago. Oh, God. Oh, it's been 9 years since I did that. Wake up early for morning rehearsals in pitch black 6 a.m. You know, last week I went to lunch with one of my dad's friends. Well, it wasn't actually. It was like 2 weeks ago. Wow, time flies. Let me see, because I talked about it in my Mario Kart video. Yeah, it was. Has it been 2 weeks? No, it's only been 1 week. Like, basically 1 week. I posted that Mario Kart video where I talked about it October 30th, so that meant I recorded it 29th of October. So it's been just over a week. I went to lunch with one of my dad's friends, because, you know, he's also one of my friends. Man, I was talking to him in the car ride, I'm just like, when you first met me, I was just another brat in high school, and now look at me. I'm driving you to lunch, and then driving you to go pick up your car at the auto shop. I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous driving him. Because, one, I wasn't driving my car. I was driving my mom's expensive car. So if anything happened, well, it would have cost a lot more to fix. And two, you know, I was driving him. I was driving with someone else in the car. And I said this many times, you know, it's way worse if someone else is in the car. Because if I get into a car accident and I die, well, it's not a big deal. If I get into a car accident and someone with me in the car dies, well, I'm in big trouble. I'm in huge trouble. Let me see real quick. Are they actually watching the wedding videos? Whoops. Yes, my family's actually watching the wedding videos. Without me. Well, it's okay. Ugh. I wonder when I will have wedding videos and wedding pictures to show. Probably not for a very long time. And there's a sad chance, probably never. You know what's crazy? In my mind, I'm kind of still thinking in the sense of like, in order to have a wedding video, you would need to tape it over what was already on the VHS. But we are ages beyond VHSs. You remember when people used to do that? They needed space, so they would tape over whatever was already on the VHS tape. Do people even know what VHS tapes are anymore? Man, we have Blu-rays and 4K now. Nobody remembers VHS tapes and cassette tapes. I still can't get over just how bad Panpour looks on the camera for you guys. Storage now is pretty cheap, all things considered. Like, given how bad Panpour looks on camera for you guys, I wonder if you guys could even, see a major difference when the shiny shows up. You can barely tell Panpour's blue on your end. Anyways, I remember SSDs being $1 per gigabyte, and now it's like 1 terabyte is like $80. My, how far we have come. Oh yeah, you guys want to hear a story that I only recently heard and learned of myself? So this happened when my sister was in her teenage years, when she was in high school. So this happened back when I was in elementary school. Because, when she was in high school, I was in elementary school. So there's this mall in Toronto called Yorkdale Mall. So turns out one day my parents dropped off my sister to high school. My parents went to the mall for whatever reason, and then when they were there, they saw one of my sister's friends, as in they saw her there. And they were thinking, didn't we just drop you off at school? So turns out, whichever day this was, my sister and her 2 friends ditched school and went to the exact same mall that my parents ended up going, the same day. This was the first time I heard this story. So, my parents didn't confront them right away. From what I heard, I don't know how true this is, I only heard little tidbits. That's honestly hilarious. Yeah, it is. And I only just recently heard the story. So, from what I heard, I don't think my dad really remembers. My mom was saying she and my dad, they went to the food court and kind of just started laughing. Like, we really just dropped her off at school, and now we caught her here at the mall. They were probably laughing like, oh, we are gonna yell at her tonight. My sister was a very big troublemaker growing up. So, my parents probably yelled at her for this, for ditching school. Well, I witnessed my parents yell at my sister so many times. I lost track, how many times and for what. But yeah, the way I heard the story play out, I don't know all the details. From what I heard, my sister ditched school with 2 of her friends, and my parents spotted one of those friends. The moment they made eye contact, from what I hear, he tried to duck down his head, try to avoid eye contact, try to pretend it's not him and walk away. Maybe run off to where the 2 of them were. Is oh my god, I just saw your parents. I think your parents just saw me here. They know we're here. It's did they at least ask, did you enjoy the mall? When they picked her up at school. It's how was class? Good? Dad, good? Really? You're sure you weren't, shopping at, I don't even know what stores that place has. You guys know that mall has some of the craziest store names? I think one store is literally just a percentage sign. That's the name of the store. Also that mall is one of the only places in Toronto to get Chick-fil-A. Last I checked, there's 2 places in Toronto to get a Chick-fil-A. want to know another fun fact about that? Scarborough Town Center is the other place. Another fun fact is that one friend of my sister who ditched with her and was caught, he works for us on weekends. Yeah, every weekend he comes into work. Like, this was the first time I heard this story. You know, I never ditched school, not once. I never ditched school at all in elementary. I never ditched school in high school. I never ditched for college. Just because I never ditched doesn't mean I did good. I attended every class, and yet I still failed college. And I still technically failed high school math, but passed on a technicality. I got a 49.5. That's what I got in the class, so that's technically a fail, but because they had to round to the nearest whole number, I got a 50 and passed. I don't think my teacher liked me because of that. You know, I think the benefit of having an older sister, you know, grow up before you, see all the mistakes she made, just made me be like, nope, I don't want none of that. I'm just not going to do any of it. You know, I saw my sister ditch and drink and do a lot of stupid stuff and get yelled at for it. I feel like seeing her get yelled at for all that stuff, I'm just thinking, yeah, I don't want none of that. Champagne tastes like ass anyway, so I don't like drinking it. I don't want to drink it. And remember, I did say I would only drink during special occasions, like my sister's wedding. I did. I took a sip of champagne and shit tasted awful. So I just, you know, no thank you. Yeah, unless there's any other special events, period, I just probably won't ever drink. Like, in general, ever. Tastes nasty, and I don't want the repercussions. You know, I don't want to get so knocked up. What? That's not right. I don't want to get so, you know, out of it. Definitely not knocked up. Pause. I don't want to get so drunk to the point I don't remember what I said or did, and then, you know, only to say or do something I regret. It's like, oh shit, I said that? Oh. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. And you know, talking about these, like, stories that my sister went through in high school, well, she's married now. Oh shit, whoops. Damn, time flies. You know, one day I was a wee little child witnessing my parents completely enraged at my sister for yet another reason. And now, they're all together watching my sister's freaking wedding videos. When will I ever have wedding videos to show my parents? Probably not for a long time. And good chance, probably never. Oh, right, right. So last week, when I mentioned just now that I went out to lunch with a friend of mine, or a friend of my dad's. We went to lunch before I dropped him off to go pick up his car. We started talking about stuff. So I talked to him about, like, that one moment in Superman and Lois where Lois had to pick between her two kids. First of all, he asked me, like, well, who did she choose? I'm just like, do you even know? If I tell you, you don't even watch the show. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't know. So I told him, like, she chose the one without powers because she thought the one with powers would have a better chance of surviving on his own, right? So then I, kind of brought up the topic, like, if my parents had to choose between my sister or myself to save the life of, who would they pick? Or who should they pick? Obviously, that's an impossible question, but it's like, just hypothetical, just for a fun little discussion. Like, if both my parents had to pick one of their kids to survive, be it my sister or myself, who should they pick? Even I'm saying, realistically, they should pick my sister, because, not only is she married, and, has more of a chance to give them a grandkid than I ever will. She just generally does more. She does a lot of stuff business-wise. She's a lot smarter than me, so she handles a lot of stuff that my parents needs done. Me, on the other hand, there's, like, no benefit to picking me. So even I'm saying, if my parents ever are in that position, pick her. Like, I would honestly not be mad. So even my friend was like, okay, so you listed out all the reasons for them to pick your sister. He was like, let me think of the reasons to pick you instead. I'm just like, the fact that you even need to think and the reasons don't just instantly come to mind, that already says everything. He actually thought about it for a bit and nothing came to mind. So I'm not exaggerating when I say there is literally no reason to save me over my sister in a life or death situation. Yep, that's the person I am. Well, if that situation ever comes to pass, I guess I am seeing not the pearly whites, but rather the fiery gates sooner than later. So we're almost done for tonight. We have 15 more eggs to hatch. And then, once I'm done hatching these, I will go join my family, watch some of my sister's wedding videos, probably see footage of how fat I look in that suit, because my god do I look fat. It really didn't help the fact that I stood next to her husband and then her husband's brother, because those two are relatively skinny guys. So my fat ass sitting next to both of them just made me look even bigger. It's like there are 5 people in that picture, and I take up 3 of them. You take a picture of the three of us, and they're like, oh, there's only 3 in this picture? You're sure there's not like 8 people in this picture? Uh... So, it seems like I'm gonna be hanging out with some friends tomorrow night. We're gonna get fried chicken. Probably gonna get some Costco pizza. And then it seems like they're gonna come to my place so we can feast like kings. Or we'll eat out. I don't know what the plan is. Because I want to try this new fried chicken place. New as in the sense like we haven't tried it yet. So I don't know if they want to buy it and bring it to my place, or if they want us to go and sit there to try it. You know, last night at dinner, we went out for dinner. My sister, she turned to me. It was like, brother, I'm so sad. It seems like BTS isn't going to, do a project together until maybe 2026. So over a year from now. I'm just like, sister, turn that direction. Complain about this to him. He's married to you now. It's his job to listen to you now. You know, yesterday I used my hands to eat like a pig. Because the restaurant we went to, obviously, of course, my dad knows the owner, because my dad just knows everyone, it seems like. So he left some good, quote-unquote, good stuff for us. We got 2 very, and I mean very small crabs that have, like, barely any meat on them. But it was mostly for the tamale that was in them. So I had to use my hands to eat those. And, well, my hands were already dirty. I may as well use my hands to eat the other stuff that's hard to eat with utensils, like the shrimp that still had its shell on. And then there was also some pork ribs that we also ordered, so I just used my hands like a pig and ate all that stuff. And then halfway into eating, I remembered, oh yeah, I went to the grocery store before this and I didn't wash my hands. Whoops. Oh well. Strengthen that immune system of mine, I guess. I think I only have 5 more eggs after this, and then I'm done for tonight. I think I started to think like maybe what I'm doing right now, not necessarily Pokemon, I take after my mom. My mom, she's always been more of, say, an introvert. Because at night, if my sister's not here, if she decides to spend the night at her husband's place, she'll just basically essentially lock herself in her room, do her own stuff, not wanting my dad or I to bother her. She'll just do her own stuff. Like, my mom actually prefers to be left alone. She doesn't want me to hang with her, or, you know. Unless they're watching their shows, probably she'll kick my sister out of the room. So it's like, unless they have something to do, my mom would actually prefer to be alone at night, like do her own stuff. Do I take after my mother like that? I mean, look at what I do here. Like, they do their stuff as a family all the time, and here I am just doing my own stuff. You know, the stuff they do just don't interest me. They watch their Chinese dramas and their K-dramas. LOL, low-key same. My mom reads fantasy novels and on occasion has bought figures for herself. You know, earlier tonight when I actually went with my dad to go and get Wendy's burgers for dinner. I, got out of the car to walk in to actually buy the food. By the time I came back, the moment I opened the door to put the food into the car, I was just hit with a wave, a dust cloud of smoke. It's been a long time since I caught my dad smoking in the car, because he said that he doesn't smoke in the car anymore because at some point I will drive the car. Maybe not regularly, maybe not consistently, but from time to time, if needed, I'll drive my dad's car for whatever reason. Like, he stopped smoking in the car because I started driving, and he knows that I hate the smell of smoke. So for the first time in a long time, I caught my dad red-handed smoking in the car. And I'm just like, so you're going to start doing this again? Because it's turning winter, because it's getting cold outside, you're not going to go outside to smoke now, huh? Is that it? Because my dad, unlike myself and my mom, he does not like the cold. So, if it's winter, he'll just not get out of the car to smoke. He'll smoke in the car. Anyways, that's 7 boxes, no shiny tonight. Alright, I'm gonna call this here. I'm gonna stop looking for a digital monkey in a video game, and I'm gonna go spend some time with my family watching some wedding videos. Alright, I'm gonna call this here. I'm tired. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.